y'all, in this paragraph or in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to write the counter argument paragraph where you will discuss the counterclaim and then have your rebuttal. So a counterclaim, first off, is what your opponent believes about your issue. So for example, if you are looking at Chase Owens and you are arguing that he is an effective leader because he is hardworking and kind, a counterclaim is the opposite of that. So it's somebody who says, hey, I think he's an ineffective leader because he's harsh and kind of a bully. So a counterclaim is just the opposite argument. A rebuttal is your answer to that opposite argument. So it's when you either prove that your opponent's argument is wrong, or it's when you admit the opponent has a good argument, but you explain why your argument is better or still valid. So there are kind of just like the previous video where I explained how to introduce a quote. So in the counter argument paragraph, you will have a quote. You'll have to introduce the quote just like you did in the last one with a complete sentence that says what was going on when this quote happened. So here's my counter argument. Okay, so I just quick wrote my thesis at the top, which is my thesis, my argument is that while Owens is at times harsh, overall he's an effective leader because he is hardworking and becomes more compassionate over time. So this is my counter argument paragraph. And I found this quote that kind of shows the time that he was harsh. So the author describes him as a bully who had no qualms or problems about using force to obtain obedience and who swore in a manner that shocked these bullies. So first I need to introduce my quote so I can kind of explain what was going on with this quote. So I wrote the sentence introducing this quote. You can do that if you want to know how to do that, you can watch the previous video. So I introduced the quote. Now, going back to this idea, I need to explain the quote in my words. And I can start with the phrase, in other words. So I'm going to do that. In other words, Owens was not afraid to beat his sailors or to swear at them to get them to do what he wanted. And then next, I need to start my rebuttal. So I might say something like, although this quote may show that, and then I kind of admit maybe the negative thing, right? The counterclaim. So although this quote may show that Owens can be harsh toward his sailors, and now I'm going to start my argument, which is like, even though he's harsh, you know what? Actually, I think it's a good thing that he's harsh. Or actually, this isn't even showing he's harsh. So I'm going to say, you know what? He's harsh, but I'm going to say it's a good thing. So that although Owens can be harsh toward his sailors, this was at the beginning of the voyage. Before Chase Owens began to become more compassionate. So I'm kind of linking back to my thesis, which says, hey, he became more kind and compassionate over time. Then what I need to do is say rebuttal, continue it. Why is my argument still the best? So I can say overall Owens is, and this is just an idea. You can kind of change the wording, all right? But see how I have, even after the quote, I have 3 sentences that I'm doing. So I can say overall Owens proves throughout the novel that in the face of extreme adversity, when they become shipwrecked, he can become more compassionate to suit his sailors' needs. So what I did there was say, okay, yeah, sometimes, you know what, he can be harsh, but actually, you know what, it changes and eventually he becomes a good guy. Now, you can do another strategy in your counterclaim or in your rebuttal where you say, you know what, I'm going to disprove this. And maybe you're going to prove that maybe he wasn't harsh or he didn't do too much. So maybe you'll say, actually, sure, he bullied the boys, but that was actually a good thing. So those are 2 strategies you can use. And this is a good start. Tomorrow, we'll talk about topic sentences and conclusion sentence, which this paragraph still needs. But for now, this is how you do the counter argument paragraph. Have a good day.